The champagne glass shattered between my fingers as Amanda's words reached me from across the mahogany table. It must be nice, Oliver, to live off everyone else's success while contributing nothing of your own. Blood trickled down my palm, mixing with the expensive champagne now soaking into the pristine tablecloth. No one moved to help. 9 pairs of eyes remained fixed on me, waiting for a reaction, a confirmation of their suspicions that I was, indeed, the family failure. My name is Oliver, I'm 34 and a silent investor. This is the story of how I reclaimed my family's respect after years of calculated patience. The bitter irony wasn't lost on me. 6 years of invisibility by design, and now center stage for all the wrong reasons. My sister stood at the head of the table, her diamond necklace catching the light from the chandelier. The same chandelier I had selected and paid for, though no one at this table knew that. Amanda's husband, Nicholas, shifted uncomfortably in his seat, suddenly very interested in the remnants of his dessert. He alone knew exactly why this moment was dangerous. I think it's time we address the elephant in the room, Amanda continued, wine glass raised as if making a toast. Oliver has been unemployed for what, 5 years now? Living in that tiny apartment, always needing help. I think it's time we have a family intervention. My father Robert cleared his throat but said nothing. My mother Victoria simply looked away, pretending to admire the garden through the window. The family that had once praised my academic achievements now couldn't bear to defend me. Well, Amanda pressed, her perfect eyebrows arched in mock concern. Nothing to say for yourself. I carefully placed the broken stem of my glass on the table, watching the blood from my cut palm create a small pool beside my plate. Actually, I said, my voice steadier than I expected, I do have something to say. From my jacket pocket, I retrieved a small black leather portfolio. Not a word was spoken as I opened it and slid a single document across the table. My cousin Isabel, always curious, reached for it first, but Nicholas lunged forward, his face suddenly ashen. Don't, he started, but it was too late. What is this? Isabel asked, scanning the page before her eyes widened. Wait, this says Oliver is the majority owner of Pinnacle Investments, I finished for her, allowing myself the smallest smile. The company that funded this house, Amanda's car, Dad's retirement, and Mom's medical treatments last year. The room fell silent. Every face turned to me in disbelief, except Nicholas, who had become intensely focused on his water glass. Amanda laughed, but it sounded hollow. That's impossible. Nicholas founded Pinnacle. He built it from nothing. Nicholas approached me 6 years ago, I said quietly. He needed a silent partner with capital. I had just sold my first tech startup, the one Dad called a waste of time and you called playing with computers. The sale made me wealthy, but I kept it quiet. I wanted to see who my family really was without the influence of money. Nicholas wouldn't meet anyone's eyes. My father's face had drained of color. That's absurd, Amanda stammered. If you had money, why would you live like someone unworthy of your respect? I finished. I wanted the truth. And I got it. Every Christmas when you forgot to get me a gift. Every family vacation I wasn't invited to. Every time you introduced me as you're still figuring it out, brother. I turned to Nicholas, who looked physically ill now. Show them the operating agreement, Nicholas. His hands shook as he reached for his phone, scrolling through files before turning the screen toward the table. There it was, my name, clear as day, listed as 65% owner of the company everyone believed was his sole creation. The tiny apartment you mock, I continued, looking directly at Amanda, is the penthouse of the building I own. The unemployment you laugh about is me managing investments that fund this entire family's lifestyle. And the help I occasionally ask for? Tests, to see who would actually support me if I had nothing. Amanda's face contorted with anger and embarrassment. You've been lying to us for years? Making us look foolish? No, I replied. I've been watching you reveal yourselves. There's a difference. My mother finally spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. Why didn't you tell us, Oliver. Because money changes how people see you. It doesn't change who they are. I stood up, brushing glass fragments from my sleeve. And now I know exactly who each of you is. Amanda's expression hardened. So what now? You're going to hold this over our heads? Threaten to cut us off unless we worship you? No, I said, walking toward the door. I'm going to do something much worse. I paused at the threshold, turning back to face my family. I'm going to treat you exactly the way you treated me, with complete honesty. The room remained frozen as I pulled out my phone and opened an app. With one tap, the house lights dimmed briefly, then returned to normal. I've just transferred ownership of this house to myself, I explained. Nicholas signed over the rights months ago when Pinnacle needed additional funding. Amanda's face went from red to white in seconds. What? Nicholas couldn't even look at her. I had no choice, Amanda. The markets crashed, and we were overextended. Oliver saved the company, but he wanted collateral. I'm not evicting you, I clarified, voice calm. That would be cruel. Instead, I'm implementing some changes. Starting tomorrow, this house will host a monthly dinner for young entrepreneurs seeking funding, the kind of people this family deemed unworthy of attention. You're all welcome to attend, as the serving staff. My father stood abruptly. You can't be serious. 6 years of watching my family mock me while living off my success? I've never been more serious. I opened the front door. Oh, and Amanda? You might want to be careful with those crystal glasses. They're quite expensive to replace. As I walked to my car, my phone buzzed with frantic text messages from every family member at that table. But for the first time in years, I didn't feel compelled to respond immediately. The family that had dismissed me as insignificant was finally seeing me clearly, and the view was making them very, very uncomfortable. Sometimes justice doesn't need to shout. Sometimes it just needs to finally speak the truth that's been there all along.